Hello, welcome to our Mommy and Me event tonight. If you are a mom, then first of all, just go ahead and stop. It's probably the first time that you have taken a pause all day. Give yourself a pat on the back, like literally, if we could see you, give yourself a pat on the back because you do so much. Your job title could literally just as easily be laundromat worker or maid or chauffeur or any number of things, especially like teacher, because of all this craziness going on. Some of you are doing that for the first time. And I just want you to know that we have so much respect for everything that you do as a mom. Tonight, you're going to get to hear from 5 incredible, busy mamas who have such inspiring stories. In fact, I'll let you in on a little behind the scenes. Right before we clicked go live for this event, we had kids coming in asking for snacks and bike helmets. We had moms locking the office door so they could just have a few minutes to share with all of you. We know your time is valuable. We're not going to take too much, but if you will just listen tonight, you are going to be so inspired of what these products and what this opportunity can do for you as a mama, for your kiddos, for the littles that you love so much, and for your whole family. So go ahead and find the chat box, and all night as we go, we're going to ask you to comment some fun things, and when you do, there might be some fun prizes as well. So first, I want you to hear from Sabrina, but go ahead and drop the word mom life in the chat box. There's my little kiddo right there, Plexi, my child behind me, my little puppy. Go ahead and drop the word mom life, and we're going to introduce you to Sabrina, who is a brand new mama. She's a married new mama in Arizona, and her wedding night baby is about 5 months old. He'll be 5 months in just a few days on the 1st. And as a new mom, she has been experiencing lots of funny firsts. As many of you probably remember, one of them is that when she was recently changing him on her side of the bed, he went ahead and pooped all over her brand new sheets for her. So I'm sure some of you have some fun stories like that. She spends her days enjoying life and reminding her son that Jesus loves him even more than he loves mama's milk. Tell us a funny mom story that you remember. And then as far as the products go, Sabrina, she takes both pink drinks, our ProBio 5, BioCleanse, Active, Lean, MetaBurn, Vital Biome, X Factor, Ease, Mega X, Collagen Joyome, and her baby does ProBio 5. Tell us what those products have done for you and for baby Owen.
Hey guys. Okay. So, yeah, as you guys can tell, like I literally take everything. And what I sort of want to touch is I want to sort of back up a little bit and go through a little bit of my pregnancy. I had the most incredible pregnancy ever. Like literally it was a dream. I feel like I felt better pregnant than well, not like I wasn't pregnant, to the point to where people literally told me that I was making it up how good I felt. So I was able to stay on all of the products, minus MetaBurn while pregnant. And I had a joyous pregnancy. And then being a brand new mama, I come from a really big family myself. And I didn't really know what to expect, besides the fact that recovering from kind of a rough labor, I literally am so thankful for having these products in my life. I tell my husband every single day, I'm like, I do not know how people go through mom life and mom without these products, because I have a healthy, chunky 19-pound baby right now. And you guys, carrying him around 24/7, like all day long, takes a lot of energy. And having active and slim, I mix it together, like helps me get through the days. And I'm not gonna lie and tell you that everything's like peachy perfect and amazing. Like I've had good days and I've had bad days. That's called motherhood, right? But just being able to, I think, get through the day, especially in the time of the world that we're living in right now, it's a little bit crazy. Like being able to get through the day and at the end of the night to be like, okay, you know what? I can wake up tomorrow and do this all over again. Prior to having Owen, my health was so bad. I don't think I would have ever, one, been able to get pregnant, or two, been able to raise a child with the health struggles that I had. Like it was bad. I didn't want to wake up in the morning. And now I'm like, I get to wake up to a smiling baby every single morning. He is the most happy baby in the morning. I do give him ProBio 5 because I think gut health starts from, that's why I took all of the products through my pregnancy, because gut health starts from day that we conceive our babies. Like, it is so critical. Like, that's what I'm so passionate about. But to be able to go through pregnancy and the beginning stages of motherhood, and to be able to smile, the few tears in between, but to be able to just wake up and do it every single morning, like, these products have like given me life to be a mama.
I love that so much. So you obviously were telling people about all of this before you got pregnant, but you continued on. And how did that affect your pregnancy? How did that affect work after? And how has this opportunity affected both of you and your hubby?
Affecting my pregnancy, again, like I said, I had the most amazing pregnancy. A little side note, which my midwife, she uses the products as well. But my midwife, like, this is just like a funny little add-in. I encapsulated my placenta, like I am crunchy mama, I guess you could say. She said I had the most healthiest, dense placenta she had ever seen in her life. So if you guys know anything about like encapsulating them, like, she was like, this is amazing. She's like, I want to see other mamas on plexus and compare it to other people not on it to see like if that's the correlation between it. But I was able to quit my job when I started Plexus, a few months into my journey. And that was always my dream, to be able to be a stay-at-home mama. I never knew how that was going to work. Like, I mean, I literally was like, I lived paycheck to paycheck. And then when you add in a baby, like, how is that going to work? Like, that's more bills on top of bills you already had. And so I was able to quit my job. I work from home. Literally, I'm on my laptop now, but this is what I work from, like, all of the time. I work from my phone. And I'm able to be like, it is so important to me to be able to be present for one, when he wakes up in the morning. I don't want someone to take care of my baby, like, after I wake up. No offense to any mamas at work that love it and enjoy it. Like, it was my dream to be a stay-at-home mama. And the fact that I get to be a stay-at-home mama and not miss any moments, not miss him rolling over. I did miss him rolling over because I was turning around the other way and turned around and he had rolled over. But to be able to witness things and to be able to sing to him every single night when I tuck him into bed, like, I don't want to ever miss those moments. And a huge thing that we've been able to accomplish now is his daddy gets to come home from work on August 28th. This is his last day to work. So he gets to be able to be present now to do the things that he loves and wants to do as well. And not have to miss bedtime, not have to miss, like, he gets off late at night sometimes tonight. So he's not going to get a steam before he gets home. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking.
I love that. She actually told us before that this is his dinner time. So that's why he's like, Mom, give me some dinner. So she's going to go do that. But I don't know if you caught what she said, but she was saying that not only has she been able to be home thanks to this, but now her new husband, he's getting to retire his job as well. So they don't have to miss any moments with him. Can you imagine a little boy living his entire life and never remembering a mom and dad going to work? That literally gives me chills. So I love that. Thank you for sharing, Sabrina. And next we have Amy. She's a mama that now lives in Texas after a fun year RVing around the country with her 6-year-old and her hubby. That trip is one of their favorite memories ever. She remembers one time on the trip, her daughter tried an oyster for the first time and everything was okay until she found out mama posted it on Facebook. And she said she is still mad about that to this day. If you've ever made your kiddos upset posting one of their things on Facebook, tell us in the comments, what did you share that they were not so happy about? It's kind of funny because a lot of us grew up before Facebook and now our kids, yes, they have a lot of fun moments that we share about with all of our friends. So mom life is full of fun. And one of the things that she loves to do, she catches herself saying fun things every day. Today alone, she caught herself saying, please stop chewing your hair off to her daughter. I'm sure all of the mamas can relate. So she takes a lot of the products as well. And we list all of these off just so that you can get an idea of the products that are producing these incredible stories. And you can ask your friend about some of them that you're interested in. But she takes the Triplex, which is the pink drink, probiotic, BioCleanse, X Factor, Active, Collagen, Joyome. And her daughter takes our new kids line, which is X Factor chewables, Mega Kids drink, and ProBio 5. So tell me what the products have done for you and your family.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. So I have had thyroid disease since I was in my 20s, and I'm 42 now, almost 43. But even when I was on the meds, I was tired and exhausted. And you throw a kid on top of that. Like, I was surviving when she was born on caffeine, naps, and prayer. And I was just not a present mama. And my husband and I would have these conversations like, this cannot be what being a parent is like, because if it is, all of our friends have lied to us, because way past the newborn phase, we were not present parents. I can remember many times, coming home from work, her being on the floor playing by herself, and him and I just exhausted on the couch thinking, what is going to change? Because I was a no mama. I was a sideline mama. I was like, can we have a movie night mama instead of a go out and play in the yard mama, right? I just was not present because I was just so tired. So once I started the products and all of those symptoms started to go away, I became the yes mom. I became the let's go outside, let's go to the park, let's go to the playground, let's go to the museums, let's not stay home mom. I became the fun mom. And I also became the wife that said yes to that crazy RV trip that I'll talk about in a minute. But Adelaide went from, playing by herself on the floor to then me really being the mom that I wanted to be. I was a mom later in life, and I always pictured myself like being that fun mom that's out doing the things. And it wasn't until I started the products that's what happened. I was a very tired mom. And, looking back on Adelaide, so I started her on plexus when she was about 20 months old with her pediatrician approval. Prior to that, though, if you had asked me if she was a healthy kid, I would have said absolutely. She was totally healthy, because all the things she had back then up to about 2 years old were normal kid things, or things that I thought were normal. I went back through my photos. I have like 80,000 photos on my phone, so I'm trying to organize them, which forces me to go back and look at these memories. And I was shocked at how often she was having breathing treatments back then. She had like the little teeny tiny dinosaur mask, and it spurred all of these memories of her. She would have bronchial infections, RSV. We were constantly either doing breathing treatments in the office, or we ended up buying our own little machine that we kept because we had regular prescriptions, for the liquid medicine. I would leave on my lunch hour to give her a breathing treatment at daycare, and they had inhalers for us, and they just prepped us and said, because she's caught all these things, and it was like the daycare funk, or whatever would go around the daycare, she is probably going to have asthma. And I had forgotten all of that, because then, once we got started on the products and I really dove into gut health, and like what Sabrina said, what I know now is that her little gut was developing the moment she was born, and all the things that happened in her first couple years of life, the antibiotics and all of those things, were just messing up her little gut. Once we started those and we were consistent on the gut health system, she hasn't had a breathing treatment. She hasn't had any illnesses. Not saying she can't get sick, but her immunity is so much stronger now. I was shocked to see those pictures. We've come so far. I had forgotten what our normal was, right? I had forgotten about that. So we don't have that anymore. We spent a year traveling around the country. This is pre-COVID. And she didn't have any illnesses. She didn't have any runny noses. We were at every amusement park, national park, state park, campground, playground you can imagine, meeting all kinds of different people, playing with all kinds of different kids. And we didn't have to stop one time on the road to go to an urgent care, to go to a doctor, to get a prescription at all. So, I wish I had found plexus when I was pregnant or when she was a newborn, but I'm forever thankful that I found him now, because, what I know is it's never too late to start working on your kiddo's health.
I love that. So you've been able to go from a no mom to a yes mom, and Adelaide has been able to go from breathing treatments to asking mommy to buy matching swimsuits for the trips to Hawaii that she totally loves every year. So kind of tell us a little bit. I know that kind of leads into it. That's one of the perks that you get here. So tell me what this opportunity has done for you, your daughter, your family, all of it.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Like, I was thinking about this question, and now I'm like, what hasn't it done? Because unlike Sabrina, no offense to the stay-at-home moms, I did not want to be a stay-at-home mom. So I was an author. Those are my 2 book covers behind me on the wall. I had a great job. I didn't need the money. I loved working, but I wanted time freedom and I wanted power over my own schedule. I basically wanted the career, but I wanted to be home all of the time, right? And I just thought it was a pipe dream. I can remember being in my office or like going out for my lunch hour and seeing like women and men that look like they weren't working during the day and having fun, thinking, how are they doing that and still getting a paycheck? So I wanted my own career and that freedom and that power. So this business has given me both of that, but it has completely changed the trajectory of Adelaide's future because I said yes and took a chance on it. I mean, her future is completely changed. I mean, one thing with this crazy fall situation, I know a lot of parents, we're all high stress, we're all kind of freaking out. I have options, which I'm so thankful for, but it's because of my business. I can choose to homeschool her. I can choose to send her to private school. I can hire a teacher. I can put her in a co-op. I have options that I would not have had if I was still in that office job. And then we've talked about the RV trip. You mentioned the matching swimsuits. I've kind of turned her into a pineapple snob. So we get to go to Hawaii with Plexus every year. I've taken Adelaide 3 times now, and girlfriend is in her element. Like she is an island girl. In fact, last year when we went, she took ukulele lessons and the instructor just noticed she had natural finger placement. So she now has been playing guitar back here ever since. She will not eat pineapple though, unless she is in Hawaii. So kind of working on her response to that when people offer her pineapple. She's like, I only eat it in Hawaii. I'm like, oh my goodness. But she would never have had that experience if it weren't for this opportunity. We certainly wouldn't be able to go on a whim every single year to Hawaii. And then in 2018 and 2019, we took the vacation of a lifetime for us. My husband took a year leave of absence without pay. Also without cell phone, without email. He was completely on vacation for 365 days. Daddy didn't have to work. And I can't tell you how that is going to affect her well into adulthood. For 365 days, we traveled all around the country. She got to see all of the things that she's going to learn about in school, the Liberty Bell, the Grand Canyon, all of these things. And it's going to affect her well into adulthood, but we never would have had these experiences without this opportunity at all. It wouldn't have even been a pipe dream.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And the one word that just stuck out to me about what you said is the word options. And that is so valuable just as a mother to have the choice of what you want to do for your family. And that's exactly what she has. And that is exactly what is available for you as well. So next, you're going to get to hear from my friend Melissa, who's a traveling dance mama living in Alabama with her hubby, her son, and her daughter, who she is often reminding, I don't need to explain because I said so. If you have found yourself saying that as a mama, because I said so, tell us that in the comments. But she did recently find herself having to explain to them why mommy can't jump on the trampoline anymore because they messed up her bladder. But she loves these products. She takes Lean, she takes Ease, she takes the Pink Drink Active, Probiotic, BioCleanse, X Factor, Collagen, and Joyo. She's got a 13-year-old son who takes our ProBio 5, BioCleanse, X Factor, Active, and our Mega Kids drink, which is prebiotics and omegas. And her 10-year-old daughter takes the same except for Active. So can you tell us what these products have done for you?
Absolutely, guys. I'm so excited to share this with you. I started back in 2005 because I had severe gut health issues, but I was hiding it because I was an aerobics teacher. So I was teaching aerobics 5 days a week. I looked like I was super duper healthy. I didn't have weight issues and I was putting on this huge front. But guys, I had this huge secret that every day when I would get finished teaching aerobics, I would come home and I would lay on the couch and I would take a nap. And I would get back up just in time to go get my kids from school. And so on the outside, I looked super healthy, but on the inside, I was a mess. I was struggling with IBS. I was struggling with major fatigue, not just kind of a little bit tired, but tired all the time. I was struggling with migraines, anxiety, depression, anemia. You name it, I was pretty much struggling with it. And I was kind of at my wit's end. And so kind of on a whim, I tried these products, and within 2 weeks, I could tell a huge difference in my energy levels. I could tell a gigantic difference in my tummy troubles, something that I had struggled with since high school. And so because I was seeing such great results within such a short amount of time, I decided to start doing my research on just gut health in general. And I knew that this was something that my family probably needed to start too, but I, being that mom, you want to check it out. You want to kind of be the guinea pig, which I was doing, but you really wanted to do your research before you gave it to your kids, right? To make sure that it was something that they needed or could benefit from. And at the time, my son was 7 years old and he was on ADHD medication. And we had to put him on the highest dose of ADHD medication because, bless his heart, he did not absorb it. And so here we are, we're on the highest dose of ADHD medication. He is a zombie all through the day. When he comes off of the ADHD medication at night, he is a terror. He cried all the time. He hated it, but he could not focus without it. And so I just started as a mom just doing my research and found so much information about the gut-brain connection. And so I just said, you know what? I'm going to take it upon myself. I'm going to put him on this probiotic and we're going to see what happens. And so that summer, after I started in February, I put him on the Probio 5 and the X Factor in May. He came off of his ADHD medicine that summer, and he has not been back on his ADHD medicine since. The kid gets all A's and B's, mostly all A's. Every now and then he gets a little B. He never gets in trouble at school. He is a model student. I'm not going to say that he has the best focus because he's a boy. Y'all know how that goes. Like you tell them to go get their shoes from upstairs and they forget halfway what they're going for. Totally a boy thing. But as far as focus in school, he is just amazing. He is able to, his teachers, I remember that feeling when he went back in for his second grade year. So he came out of first grade, went into second grade, coming out of first grade, was on the highest dose of medication possible, goes into second grade, isn't on any medication at all. And I remember calling his teacher after that first week of school and saying, "How's Brooks doing in school?" And she was like, "He's doing wonderful." But we were wondering, I was talking to the school nurse and we were wondering when he was taking his medication. Is he taking it before he leaves for school? Because he used to take it during school, before and during. And I said, actually, he's not on medication anymore. And she was blown away by that fact. She was blown away with the fact that I had been able to replace that with something all natural and that was going to benefit his health overall. And so we were also that family that was in the doctor all the time. We had every stomach virus. We caught every case of bronchitis. Every time the flu went around, I just held my breath. Strep throat, you name it, we were in the doctor's office. And I am so glad to report that in 5 years, we have been to the doctor one time for a sick visit. My son, we broke the record last year. I was like, my son got the flu and had it for 2 days. And was completely over. No one else in the house got it. We lived with him the whole time. I didn't quarantine him to the bedroom, but no one else got it. And literally that is the only time that we have been to the doctor in 5 years. My kids go to public school. My husband's military, so he's out and about all the time. I am literally everywhere all the time. So the fact that we haven't been sick in 5 years is insane. My whole family takes the products. My daughter takes the products. She is extremely active. Both of my kids are active, and they both love the energy and just how great they feel on these products. And they tell me all the time, they're like, "Mom, I haven't had," my son especially will be like, "Mom, I haven't had my active today. I need it before I go to football." So he has to have that active every single day.
I love that so much. And I also know that you telling people about that and people seeing how well your kids are and how much better you feel has given you financial freedom and time freedom. What has that been able to offer to your kids?
Oh my gosh, I cannot even begin to fathom like the life that they have been given due to this opportunity. Like I said, my husband's military and he has a great job, but it just didn't offer us a lot of margin in our budget. And so what I was able to do was still stay at home and be with my kids, not just be, just that mom that's like completely all over them, but I wanted to be that mom that if I wanted to go to the party at school, I could go do that. And so it's afforded us that as well, just my time freedom. But we've been able to travel. Amy was talking about taking her daughter to Hawaii. We took both of our kids to Hawaii last year. They had the best time. They still say it is the best trip they've ever taken over Disney World. They even said that was better than Disney World. We have just been able to do so many things. My daughter is a dancer. And if any of you have dancers, it is the most expensive hobby on the planet. And I have been able to just write checks like it was nothing. And, we would have never been able to do that before. I mean, choreography fees and dance competition fees and costumes. I mean, it just is so overwhelming. And I see these parents struggle to pay that, over the year, and we just do it and we don't think anything about it. Another fun thing that we did, Amy talked about, RVing. We bought a camper and we're able to do that for a while. And we just are just now putting in a pool in our backyard. And so that has been something that I never had those opportunities as a kid. And to have that opportunity to just provide something amazing like that for my kids, something fun, something that, I want to be the house where everybody comes and has a good time, comes to my backyard so I can keep an eye on them, right? So that's one thing that I was never able to do as a kid. And so I wanted to be able to just provide that for my kids, not to spoil them necessarily, but just to have fun, just to do things that were fun and entertaining and would keep them wanting to come back to my house. Y'all know how that is. Like my kids are getting older now. They're 13 and 10. And when they graduate, like I want them to want to come home. So I'm like, what kind of fun stuff can we have at the house? So they want to come back to my house. So it's just been we've been able to give more, save more, travel more. It's just been a blessing that I cannot even begin to fathom.
You are such a fun mom. And hearing you talk, I agree. I never had those opportunities as a kid either. In fact, I remember joining dance after begging my mother, and we had to pull out after like a month when the costume time came around. I could never do the show because they just couldn't afford it. And now your kids have memories of football and dance and Disney and Hawaii and pools in the backyard with all of their kids. And that's all just because you cared about their gut health, and it happened to turn into this massive blessing when you're telling other moms about it. So thank you so much for sharing that. Next, you get to hear from a dairy farmer wife in Pennsylvania, former teacher, mama of 3 kiddos, and soon to be homeschooling mama again. She is always telling her kids, only you can change your attitude. They say that she says that, but she also calls them boo and bro too much. But that's just how fun she is. She also loves surprising them with fun trips. And one of her favorite things she was able to do was surprise them 2 years ago with a cruise. And she will never forget the looks on her faces when they got to do that. Tell us about your favorite family vacay as well. And then Brian, can you just tell us everything that the products have done for you? I know that you said you take practically everything, and your kiddos take ProBio, BioCleanse, X Factor, and the kids line.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for taking the time to be here, because I know, like Brooke said at the beginning, we all have things that you could be doing right now. But the fact that you tuned into this event, you have a goal, right? You're a mom with a vision and you have a dream. And I know what that was like. And I know what it was like to not be present in the moments. I had 3 kids in 3 years. I was a school teacher up until my 3rd was born. I ended up resigning and not going back because 3 kids in 3 years was a lot, right? But then I was diagnosed with 4 different autoimmune disorders in that same 3-year time span. So when my oldest was 11 months old, I woke up one morning, my joints were so swollen that I couldn't put my pants on. My knee would swell to the point where every other week I was going to have it drained. My thyroid was shot. I couldn't have glue, and I had a lot of stuff that was going on. And so we made the really hard decision for me to be home. Dairy farming is not lucrative. It's been in my husband's family for decades and decades. It's his passion. It's something that he loves. And I love that. I love that we've been able to have those choices, but me coming home from teaching was a really difficult decision for us. I carried all of the insurance, but the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, because we know as moms, right, we have to go about our days. We have to get up, we have to be present. And when my oldest daughter was 14 months old, I got a phone call. I was still teaching at the time, got a phone call, and you can just hear the panic in my mom's voice. And I will never, ever forget her saying, you need to get here, and you need to get here really quickly. And my oldest daughter was having an anaphylactic response to a really small piece of a cashew. Thank God she ended up spitting it out. But just from the oils, she went into an anaphylactic shock. And that started us on another really long journey. Because as moms, we can take a lot, right? We can take things because we have to show up for our kids. But when it's our kids going through those things, it takes on a whole new meaning. And so I started diving into research. I became a crunchy mom, not because I wanted to be a crunchy mom, but because I had to be. Because by the time she was 5 years old, she had over 30 different intolerances. Eczema, I mean, we had 16 different kinds of steroids, creams, and just everything that you can imagine. And I remember several times on the way home from when she was in preschool and when she was in kindergarten, pulling over on the side of the road because she would just be in tears. She didn't understand why she wasn't like the other kids, that she couldn't do things that the other kids could do, and that she couldn't be part of the birthday parties. And those things broke my heart. And I knew that I needed to do more. I knew that I didn't want her to live a life based on the things that she could not do. So we kept diving in, and it skeptically led me to plexus and gut health. 5 years into this, she is off all medication. She is going to the farm. I mean, because it wasn't just food allergies, it was outdoor intolerances, it was food, grass, dander, pollen, the animals. 5 years into this, she is off of all medication. We are that family that goes to the county fair and shows animals. She can curl up in the hay. If you watch my stories, if you see my posts, she has the cows with her all the time. And it has given us our life back. And I do not say that lightly, because her pediatric allergist told us that she would basically need a bubble, and it's a bubble that we've never had to put her in.
That is amazing. I absolutely love that. And I can't even imagine how many mamas watching are thinking, yes, I can take it. I can take it all on. But when it happens to my babies, like, I have got to figure something out. And that's what led you here. And I remember you saying you just kind of told some people about it simply because you knew they needed it, but you had no idea that that would give you a bonus and earn a paycheck. And all of that has led to now where you have so many thousands of people doing this with you. What has that done for your family? What opportunities has that given your kids?
Oh my gosh, guys, everything. I know, same thing. If you're watching this, you're probably thinking like, okay, maybe I'll start the products, but there's no way. Like, I would never jump on a YouTube live and share these products. That was me. I was never going to tell anybody. I was going to be a closet user. And I actually told people to never message me when they asked me to start sharing. That's how skeptical I was. But here's the thing. Right now in your mind, you know other people that need these products, right? I knew that I had already talked to people about Rye and her allergies. I knew I had already talked about my thyroid issues and my low energy. We're moms. None of us had energy, unless you're in plexus, and then we do. But you're already talking to people. And so I simply shared. I ended up getting this "You've Got Money" email from Plexus. And I was like, okay. When I opened it up, that's when I really started being able to dream. It was stress that was lifted off my husband's shoulders. It was the ability for us to be able to go and do and be a yes mom to things that we couldn't have been able to do before, to be able to travel again, to not have to worry about so many expenses. Guys, we don't have more time in the day, right? You can't always just go and get a second, third shift. There is not always more time, and we need money. It is not a selfish thing that we need money to be able to survive. And that's what this opportunity has showed us. that we don't have to be fighting about money, that we don't have to be worried about bills at the end of the month, that when COVID hit, I didn't have to make the hard decision. I could be with my kids. And right now we get to align with our goals and our dreams. And I didn't have to worry about sending them back because I can make the decision to be home with them. That's what this is about, right? It's about the choices. You don't have to choose the same thing as me. You get to have different goals. You get to have different dreams, and you get to align them with your family. And so whatever it is for you tonight, before you go to bed tonight, reach out to the person that invited you to this, because the beauty of this opportunity is that there's not just one body, there's not just one symptom, there's every single thing that you get to be a part of and that you get to dream really big with. And I'm so thankful that I said yes and got over myself and my skepticism.
That is some good stuff right there. You heard Amy talk about options. You heard Brianne talk about choices. And yes, every mom that has shared so far tonight, they've seen help with different things. Their kiddos have seen help with different things. They have different desires and dreams and goals for their family, different ways of schooling, ways of travel, everything. But the beautiful thing is that this right here has been a vehicle to allow all of them to see their dreams come true. And that can be the same for you as well. You get to hear from one last mama tonight. Amy is a Delaware mama who often finds herself asking her kiddos to please just wipe their own butts. If any of you are mamas, you totally can relate to that. She remembers one epic fail as a mom when she, in all of her photographer glory, was trying to get one of those cute feet pics at the beach, but a rogue wave came and took her 4-year-old out. And she said her 4-week-old out, and she has never lived it down. But she is still kind of making up for it because every day she teaches them that the most important thing for them to do is smile. She takes the Triplex, Active, Ease, X Factor, Mega X, and Collagen. Her 4-year-old daughter takes the kids line. Her 7-year-old takes that and our probiotic, and her 14-year-old daughter takes all of that plus BioCleanse, X Factor, Mega X, and Ease. What have these products done for you and your kiddos, Amy?
Oh my gosh. First of all, thank you so much for having us all on tonight. I can't believe I have to go last after all of these amazing ladies that I'm so thankful to call my friends now, all because of Plexus. But I can tell you that 7 years ago, I was the world's biggest skeptic, but I was that like Diet Coke, McDonald's eating skeptic, you know, like I'm not going to try some crazy pink drink. It might make my son who I'm breastfeeding grow a tail or something, you know? So I was out. But I luckily came around, and at the time I had a 7-year-old daughter, Kayla. She has Down syndrome, and my son was 1 when I clicked join. I now have another baby. She is 4, my plexus baby. But I will tell you, at the time when I clicked join, I was extremely overweight. I was a size 20 and I was exhausted. And here's what I know. Us mamas, we need to not only be present in today and be active and be doing all the things like all of my friends mentioned that we're now all able to do. But my biggest concern was my future for my daughter, right? There come, you know, a few more challenges when you have a child with special needs, a few more worries. And the road that I was going down was not going to allow me to see every single possible day with her. And so when I clicked join, I did it solely for me, selfishly. I needed to lose weight. I needed to feel better, but that is not my story. My story is all wrapped up in my daughter, who is 14. And like I said, she has Down syndrome. She is the kid that when she started, she was 7. Much like a lot of my friends on here, she was sick all the time. I'm talking 25 to 30 days of school a year, to the point where I was getting letters in the mail from the school district letting me know that they were going to be contacting Child Protective Services because my child was missing so much school. And let me tell you, from the very beginning, we have always had Kayla on the diploma track. Yes, she has Down syndrome, but she is amazing. And I was not going to allow anyone to determine what her ability was as far as schooling at a young age. And can you imagine being on diploma track, having Down syndrome, and missing 30 days of school a year? It was a challenge, okay? But not only does she have Down syndrome, she has celiac, and she also had alopecia. all the whammies, right? You can't eat the same foods your friends are eating. You look and seem different to your friends. Oh, and by the way, now you're going to lose all of your hair. Well, before I found Plexus, again, I was not looking for Plexus for my kiddos. I thought it would like contain some crazy stuff. I've now become the crunchy mama, like Brienne, and realized that these products are amazing and clean, and I would give them to my babies, and I have, and I took them during my last pregnancy. But before I started and we got the diagnosis of alopecia, Kayla was 7, okay? She was into the Disney princesses. She was into YouTube and showing me, Mommy, I want you to do my hair like this. And can you imagine when your child's hair starts falling out in patches? I'm talking patches of hair falling out. And I remember sitting in the doctor's office while she got injections of steroids in her head, and the doctor saying to me, this is going to be extremely painful. And I remember crying out and praying to God. I needed an answer. I needed something that was going to make her better. I needed something that was going to heal her body. And then along comes Plexus 6 months later. And let me tell you, guess what? Those steroid injections, they didn't work. Just like the steroid nebulizers that she took from November to April, it only compounded all of the issues that she had. She lived on Miralax every single day, 2 capfuls a day, just to help her go to the bathroom, maybe once every 7 to 10 days. My baby girl was sick. She was constantly sick. Well, enter Plexus, and in just 6 to 8 weeks, her hair started growing back. She started feeling better. She was no longer getting sick. And I am happy to report that our pediatrician discharged us because we haven't been in so long. Yeah, we got that letter in the mail. But it's just such an amazing thing. You know, I think as mamas, we have all said we would take on the weight of the world. I would take on the alopecia. I would take on the celiac. I would take on the Down syndrome. I would take on all the things, but I don't have to because of Plexus. And now Kayla is happy, healthy. She's entering high school, still on complete, non-modified diploma track, and she is doing amazing.
I love it. I love it. And one thing that I love about you is I know that you will go to the grave fighting for your kiddos, and how incredible she talks about, like most mamas, I'll take it on. I'll take it for her. But she doesn't have to, simply because she got over the skepticism, the doubt, the fear that we know that you were probably thinking. And she gave this a try. And not only did it help her and make her a better mama, it helped all of her kiddos too. And again, when you feel incredible and your kiddos feel incredible, people want to know what you're doing. And so you've told a lot of people about it. What has this opportunity done for all of you as well?
You know, once I realized just how amazing these products were, just the same as I would share my favorite mascara or my favorite movie that I just watched, I just couldn't stop sharing because it was bigger than mascara or a movie, right? These products were changing our lives. And I knew that if I kept this to myself, it would be selfish, right? I couldn't keep it to myself. So I had to share. And by sharing, just like many of you on this call this evening, we've earned 7 free trips to Hawaii. And it's not about Hawaii, it's about the time freedom. My husband, before we clicked join, was driving a 2000 Buick LeSabre with 200,000 miles on it, duct taped windows. None of the things worked that should have worked, like air conditioning, none of it worked. We now drive a free Plexus Lexus, and I don't care what label is slapped on the front of that car. It's a free vehicle, and it gets me from point A to point B. We've been able to move from our townhouse, our starter home that we were there way too many years for, into our dream neighborhood where Kayla has the best of friends, and so do Logan and Brinley. I've been able to bring my husband home from work. He's now been home with us for 2 years. You know, Brinley she's 4. She doesn't remember her daddy at work. Logan's 7. He doesn't remember either. He was 5. And the time freedom that we have been able to have as a family has allowed us to do so much. We're extremely passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with disabilities. We started our foundation, the 321 Foundation, where we advocate for individuals with special needs. We've been a part of having like 6 laws passed, one of them named after Kayla. And none of that would be possible without the time freedom to be able to spend in our nation's capital and in our capital here in Delaware to be able to fight for the rights for people with disabilities. So this is so much bigger than just health. It's so much bigger than just giving it a try. It's so much bigger than you just sitting there skeptical. Because I'm telling you right now, 7 years ago, if I was in an event like this, I was rolling my eyes. That's where I was. And my friend loved me enough to keep bothering me and telling me I needed to just give it a try. And guess what? I did, and I haven't looked back. And so just like Bree said, I challenge you tonight, when you go to bed, just think about it. Think about what if you give it a try? What if it works for you? What if it helps solve so many issues in your life? And it really, truly changes so many things. Yes, this has changed our lives from a health perspective, but the amount of lives that we've been able to change from a health perspective, as well as people with disabilities around the country and the world, that to me, that's my legacy. That's what I'm leaving behind. And I'm so proud to be a Plexus Diamond because of the legacy that I'm able to leave.
I love that legacy. That word just gets me every time. And you heard her mention the word diamond. All of the incredible mamas that you've heard from tonight, they're all the top of the company. We call that jewel here. And they didn't mention money because this is not really about the money, but they all make 5 figures a month, 6 figures a year. And that's not so they can go buy a crazy Bentley, even though, hey, if they wanted to, they could. But you heard them talk about the things that this is providing: time freedom, choices, options, trips, causes on their heart, the ability to provide hobbies and fun and memories. We only get one life. And whatever you want out of that life, whether it's to be a stay-at-home mom, a working mom, a traveling mom, a work-at-home mom, whether you want to homeschool or send your kids to school or get a hobby of your own, whether you want to start for you to lose some weight or because your kiddos have things that you've heard all of this incredible products do, whatever that is, this could be that for you. And the only thing that we're waiting for is for you to say, yes, I'm in. Maybe you don't know all the things, but just start. Start with the products that your friend recommends to you. Stay consistent. Start with telling somebody about them. You don't have to know all the things. Just tell them, hey, listen, this is what I'm taking and I want you to do it with me. And before you know it, you could be down the road looking back 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, having this exact same story. And here's the deal. If you are like Bree and you're sitting there like, I don't ever want to share my story, you don't have to. That's the beauty of this. You can share your story with a few friends, with a million friends, or with the world. This opportunity is here for you. These products are here for you. We even have fun, what I like to call mommy and me packs, because it's safe enough for the whole family. We hope you'll give this a try with us and change your entire life and make that